Winnie.
The leaders of the different political parties and formations that are in the room, our leader of the opposition, members of parliament, members of the press, we gather here today to condemn the manner in which our brothers, Dr. Kiiza Besigye and Alhaj Abed Kamlegea, were abducted from Kenya, where they had gone on their personal and individual duties. Our elder, Dr. Mayanja Kibirige, referred to me as Honorable Winnie Kiiza Besigye. I take it with dignity. Dr. Kiiza Besigye is our mentor in politics. And in fact, when we were starting our political struggles, and I was named the Minister of Community Service, Gender and Community Development during the Reform Agenda time, the media said the Reform Agenda grouping lacked leaders, and Besigye decided to name his wife and positioned her in Kasese. So from that time, I was referred to as Dr. Besigye's other wife. My husband is aware of that. And where I go, they call me Winnie Kiiza Besigye. I don't take offense. So I come here to join the other colleagues to condemn and stand in solidarity with Dr. Kiiza Besigye, wherever he is, and Abed Kamlegea. It's so sad that Ugandans can look at this matter as a matter of Dr. Besigye. Today is Dr. Besigye, tomorrow is you. And I would like to say that an attack on any member of the opposition should be looked at as an attack to all of us. We join here as leaders of different political groupings because we know that Dr. Besigye believes in the unity of the opposition. And so when we come here to join hands to condemn the act and condemn the President of the Republic of Uganda, the manner in which he's dispersing the issues of this republic that is putting us in jeopardy as a country, the manner in which he has muzzled all state institutions and he thinks he is going to export this to other countries is another issue that we should worry about. When Dr. Besigye is accused of committing atrocities in Greece, atrocities in Geneva, atrocities in Kenya, and is arraigned in a military court in Uganda, is an issue that we should worry about in terms of diplomatic missions. Because I don't know at what stage President Museveni became the president of Greece, became the president of Geneva, and now is taking over the issues of Kenya. As a country, we should get worried. This should not be a matter of Dr. Besigye. It's not a matter of only the members of the opposition. It's a matter for all of us, the citizens of Uganda. We should also be bothered that other people from other countries are getting concerned about the justice system of Uganda, and that we as citizens are at peace with ourselves. And having said this, I would like to invite all of us tomorrow to Makindi. One, to show solidarity, and then two, to send a signal that we are dissatisfied with the way citizens and non-military personnel are being arraigned in court martials. It happened to our people in the Renzoris in 2014. Citizens were arrested, arraigned in court martial, in a ground. Actually, the court was seated in a ground. And the judge was there, dancing around and about. And we knew this was an anomaly, it was an injustice, it was an illegality. but it continued. Those of us who saw it happen, we condemned it. Some citizens remained silent. Friends, it is an issue that we should all raise up to condemn, an issue that we should be preoccupied with, because it is an issue that concerns all of us. I would therefore like to call upon all of us to stand in solidarity. One, with Dr. Kiiza Besigye, but two, to condemn the manner in which they were arrested. Three, to say enough is enough, the way citizens are being treated, that anybody who has a different view from that of President Museveni is looked at as a rebel, is looked at as an enemy of the state, and so it defeats the purpose for which the Constitution was made. There are provisions of free association, freedom to associate, freedom to speak, freedom to assemble. But if all those freedoms are now no longer available for us, the citizens, then I don't see whether we still have any constitution to call a constitution. Friends, as you may be aware, lawyers came up to say we are taking on this matter. But as up to now, the Honorable Martha Karua's certificate that he asked for has not yet been granted. I would imagine similarly to other lawyers who want to come. What is the meaning of this to us as citizens? These are issues that we should begin pondering about and work harder to defend, because it may happen to Besigye today. When it happens to you tomorrow, there may be no one to speak. All the other energies will be depleted. So we need to come together in solidarity. We need to support one another at times like these. And then we need also to continue showing our government that they can do better. And that we as citizens will not just look on as they violate our rights, as they manipulate the Constitution, and as they do illegalities in our face. We shall continue to speak, just like the speakers before me mentioned it. There is no amount of intimidation. There is no amount of coercion. There is nothing that is going to stop us from speaking what we believe in as being the right for the people of Uganda. There is nothing that is going to stop us from demanding for justice. There is nothing that will stop us for demanding for good governance. I want to thank you for listening to me, and I want to call upon all of us once again, let us be at court tomorrow. And we continue to make statements to our nation and the government of President Museveni that the capture of institutions will not stop the will of the people to happen. We shall continue fighting, we shall continue mobilizing, we shall continue speaking no matter what. Having said that, I would like to take a singular honor of inviting the Honorable Ken John Lukyamuzi, the man. Honorable, you're most welcome.
Thank you very much. Mr. President, sir, I bring greetings from the Conservative Party. I have been told to thank the NUP for organizing a meeting of this magnitude. We in the Conservative Party think that if arrangements of this kind go on, we are capable of collectively fighting the omnipotent dictator. And I think that Honorable Bobi Wine, Honorable Kyagulanyi, you have opened a window for the opposition to begin working cautiously, mindful of the dictator. With reference to a case in law known as Human Rights Network versus Attorney General and others, the Constitutional Court ruled that the content of POMA that was stopping politicians or political parties from holding meetings and demonstrations are null and void. They did not stop there. The court added that as if that was not enough, the contents of Article 92 of the Constitution stop Parliament from passing any other law to replace the one which has been nullified. When the Attorney General says he was appealing against that judgment, he is deceiving himself, because Uganda has already ratified the International Covenant on People's Social, Political, and Economic Rights, meaning that we do not expect the Supreme Court to nullify the laws that we have already signed for as a nation. The time is now for all of us, the political parties in Uganda, to work together and fight that dictatorship. There is nothing that stops us from calling public meetings and demonstrating publicly. Who is doing that? Now, on the matter regarding Dr. Kiiza Besigye, thank you very much, honorable members of the political parties, for coming together to respond to the clarion call of NUP. Dr. Kiiza Besigye, whom we are remembering today and we are fighting for, is a great fighter for freedom. He has persisted all the years to fight for human rights in Uganda. And nobody can succeed the war of fighting for freedom without persistency. That is why up to now we honor Martin Luther King Jr., we honor Mahatma Gandhi, we honor Nelson Mandela, we honor Benedicto Chwanukova, because of the record they left in fighting for freedom persistently. I call upon you all to remember the core of persistency, because without persistency, you may not cause any impact in this world. When I look at the case which Honorable Lukyamuzi and others are trying to manage, I even laugh, because Honorable Lukyamuzi successfully explained in court. I was there. After that explanation, I don't see anything like a sub judice rule being applied, because under Article 28, Clause 7 of the Constitution, the charges which were narrated in court do not stand. They do not stand, because unless Uganda wants to annex Kenya, but Kenya is a sovereign state. So when the chairman of the committee said that on the 10th you should come for mentioning what case which does not stand. There's no case standing. Anybody is free to talk about the case now being pleaded. I would like to thank the lawyers, including Martha, who is a fellow conservationist, for endeavoring to protect the rights of a Ugandan. We should feel proud that we have friends across the Republic that are capable of coming to our favor when we are in danger. Finally, the president of NUP talked about the Anti-Corruption Day. In Uganda, if we want to effectively fight corruption, we should adopt the federal governance model, the model of a federalism, to empower the regions with the power to fight corruption. You cannot fight corruption when you have no power. The districts are too small to fight corruption, because under federalism, power fights power. Power checks power. You must own power to be able to check power. That is another very important chapter, which at one time I will endeavor to articulate. With those few words, I urge you all, honorable members from the political parties and the parliamentarians, to copy from the experience which has been noted by us through this important gathering, masterminded by NUP. And we thank NUP. We didn't know that you can be so effective as you are now. let us use this chapter of collectiveness to endeavor to fight so many other wars that are coming in front of us tomorrow. Thank you very much. May I have the honor of inviting Honorable Gaira to speak on behalf of PPP.
Whenever we are in meetings like this, because he speaks last. But as the saying goes, that he who speaks last or who laughs last laughs best. Let me make 2 points. First of all, I thank the Leader of Opposition and NUP for organizing this event. I want to remind the President of Uganda that in 1980, when he went to the bush, 2 people were arrested by the army. One of them was General Salim Saleh. Your Excellency the President, when your brother was arrested, remember the message you sent to the former Vice President and Minister of Defense, the late Paul Mwanga. Because you are not trusting the courts then, you threatened that if he doesn't release your brother, you are going for him. So you should remember that. The way you felt when your brother was arrested is the way Ugandans are feeling when their children, when their brothers are abducted and are subjected to the court-martial. The second person that I want to remind the President of Uganda was his former Secretary General at the time, Honorable Bidandi Sali. Museveni went to the bush today. The following day, Bidandi Sali was arrested and he was incarcerated in the army barracks for 1 year and 4 months. I want to ask the President of Uganda, when you were in Rushikaire's house discussing about going to the bush or discussing about the way forward after the election, there were 2 options. You said you will go to the bush, and the Bidandi said, no, let us go and organize the party. Now you decided to go to the bush, the Bidandis decided to do otherwise. They remained here. I want to ask the President, was Bidandi arrested because he was going to overthrow government? Because you know very well that he was objected to that idea, vehemently objected. So are you telling us that that is what is now happening, that you went to fight? So I wanted to say this, maybe our President is no longer recalling what happened then. President, Mr. Museveni, they are correcting me here. The second point I want to make is a clarion call to all Ugandans. As we are sitting here in solidarity against the abduction and consequently the arraigning of Dr. Besigye and his co-accused to the court-martial, what Museveni has succeeded into is to isolate us wherever we are fighting for justice. When I'm being persecuted, NUP is isolated from me. When border borders are being persecuted, the hawkers are in their comfort. When the doctors are being persecuted, the teachers are in their comfort. At no one point, we have come together to fight against injustice as Ugandans. Where are the religious leaders in this? Where are the religious leaders? Where are the academicians? Where are the professionals in this? Where are they? Are they waiting the time when he will go to them and then they call us to come and defend them. In countries where they have fought injustice, the professionals, the religious leaders, the middle class, they all come together to fight this injustice. Until we realize this, until we appreciate this, this injustice shall keep on, shall keep on. So I call upon all those groups to come forward and join this struggle of fighting the injustice. Otherwise, we shall keep on fighting, and we shall keep on fighting in isolation from one another, and we will never succeed. Thank you very much.
A joint statement. I'm going to request Council Lewis Ruongoya to come and read to us that statement that is going to be signed by the senior leaders, a joint statement in solidarity with Dr. Kiiza Besigye, Haji Obed Kamulegea, all the other different political prisoners that are being illegally persecuted using the military courts. Kindly read it to us and then we'll sign.
And all distinguished leaders, here is a statement, 9th December 2024. Joint statement on the abduction of Dr. Kiiza Besigye and Haji Obed Kamulegea from Kenya and the arraignment before the General Court Martial. We, the undersigned leaders of different political parties and formations, do hereby, 1, condemn the abduction of Dr. Kiiza Besigye and Haji Obed Kamulegea from Kenya, a sovereign state, on the 16th of November 2024, in complete violation of domestic, regional, and international laws. 2, condemn their trial in the military court, which has no jurisdiction to try civilians, and further assert our belief that they cannot get a free and fair trial at the General Court Martial, where the military is the complainant, the prosecutor, and the judge. 3, demand an end to the trial of civilians in military courts in adherence of numerous rulings by Uganda's Constitutional Court. All cases involving numerous political prisoners and other civilians must be terminated or transferred to civilian courts. 4, call upon Chief Justice Owiny Dolo and the Supreme Court to rise to the occasion and put a final end to the trial of civilians in military courts and the attendant violations of human rights. 5, demand that the charges against Dr. Kiiza Besigye and Haji Obed Kamulegea are dropped, and if not, that they are swiftly transferred to civilian courts bearing jurisdiction to try the alleged offenses. I thank you very much. That is a statement.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rubongoya. And now currently we are going to witness the signing of the statement he has just read.
Inconsistent. Once there is a violation, you cannot prosecute. So I don't know if you are now changing from the position where we've been consistent. Drop the charges is a clear demand. How do you say transfer and then charge after violating rights? 2, take them to the civilian court to do what? If there is no offense committed within the borders of Uganda, I will not witness.
Yeah, so I think the senior lawyer, what we have been saying is, if the state has got any case to prefer against any of these people, whether it be Dr. Kiiza Besigye, whether it be all the different political prisoners, take them to the civilian courts. That's what we are saying. Of course, they normally will run away from the civilian courts because they know it will be a lot harder for them to have a tight grip. People are denied bail in the military courts, which is usually might not necessarily be the case with the civilian courts. So we are saying these are, have a back and forth over these colleagues. But that is good counsel that we can keep building on. But the point is, if the state wants to charge any of us over anything, that's okay, because we are not law breakers. So we are not saying don't charge us. The same way we keep saying, if you want to arrest any of us, do it within the law. We are not saying we are impervious to arrest. None of us is above the law. But if you choose to arrest me, don't abduct me in a drone. All right? If you want to prefer any charge against me, take me to the civilian court, not the military court. So that's the issue, really. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. We have come to the end. I'm now going to be inviting the different leaders to come and sign this, our joint document. I think they'll do it from here on this podium with ease. I'm hoping the camera people are not disenfranchised in any way. We change the podium. Rom Saddam Gaira is very creative. He's saying, I do this. Okay, well,